Hello my dear friends and colleagues. Today I welcome you all for my presentation on dental practices in current scenario of constantly evolving COVID-19 pandemic and how to go about good dental practice amidst this pandemic. I am Dr. Fanikumar Kuchimanchi, Professor in Department of Oral and Maxillofacial Surgery at Sivar Institute of Dental Sciences. My dear friends, I want all of you to understand that this presentation is not going to give you anything new that which you do not know about, but rather this presentation focuses on creating a perspective and a rationale in adapting certain measures or modifications to your routine dental practices so that we can survive this pandemic and give quality health care to the needy patients. During the pandemic, what do we need to understand? We have to understand that we are in the middle of a pandemic which is constantly evolving in transmission and spreading trends. Remember friends, dentistry means oral cavity, and this implies that working inside the portals of entry, the dentists are at the highest risk of contracting and transmitting the COVID-19. Dentistry is unique in that it produces a lot of aerosols and droplets during its procedures, and the standard protective measures in view of COVID-19 or the unique way of spread of COVID-19 may not be effective enough to prevent this spread of disease, especially when patients are in the incubation period or unaware that they are infected or choose to conceal their infection. Then what are we supposed to do? Stop, slow down, watch around and then proceed. All patients should be assumed to be infected and treated accordingly unless they have had 2 consecutive COVID-19 tests separated by at least 24 hours as negative due to the possibility of false negative results. So the key lies in adoption of added precautions and modifications for provision of dental health, adhering to the standard recommendations given by a competent authority like National Center for Disease Control or ICMR or CDC or WHO for safe dental practices. As we all know, the type of risk involved is assessed based on the potential for the spread of the disease. The types of risk in dentistry can be categorized as high risk, moderate risk and minimal risk. All minor oral surgical procedures and all aerosol generating procedures come under high risk, whereas the non-aerosol generating procedures or orthodontic bracket placements or IOPA, RVG or temporary restorations come under moderate risk, and screening and diagnosis or extraoral radiography come under minimal risk. Why do we need to understand this is because when we have to deal with a dental emergency, there is a possibility of converting aerosol generating procedures into non-aerosol generating procedure, thereby converting high risk procedure to a moderate risk procedure in order to address the dental emergency that the patient needs to be attended with. So what are dental emergencies? Dental emergencies are those conditions or situations which need immediate attention to so that the pain is relieved and the patient is saved from any life-threatening situation. For example, acute dental pain due to pulpitis or periodontitis or dental abscess, fractured tooth or cracked tooth syndrome, acute space abscess or Ludwig's angina-like condition which could be life-threatening, dentoalveolar fractures or tooth fractures involving the pulp, the jawbone fractures requiring a wiring procedure or intermaxillary fixation. So, in view of modifying our procedures, we have to stick to certain do's and don'ts. And why do we have to stick to certain do's and don'ts is because as of now, as per the professional guidelines, we are not supposed to touch our elective dental needs, but we have to strictly restrict ourselves to adopt to carry out only emergency dental procedures. So until there is a clear code for resuming elective dental practice by a competent authority, we need to reserve our elective practices and stick to some do's and don'ts. The availability of rapid diagnostic kits is also a problem in the current ongoing scenario. Because of the magnitude of the disease, there is shortage of rapid diagnostic kits. Also, the adequate supply and availability of quality PPE kits will take some time. So, the do's and don'ts will help us to adopt something or some modifications into our practice so that we can be safe in providing our dental health care. So what to do? Strictly consider only dental emergencies. Elective procedures always can wait. Consider consultation only over telephone or video conference call, which helps in restricting the visit of patients with no immediate need for a dental procedure. Consider complete case history, COVID specific questionnaire and consent to be sought over this telephone call itself in order to accept or reject the visit, which helps in minimizing the direct contact and the time spent by the patient in our clinic and multiple visits for the same. Schedule for limited visits for all your dental emergency patients so that it will avoid the risk of contracting the infection or cross infections and also the risk of exposure. Limit your number of appointments to more than 5 in a day. 2 or 3 will be the best, and only one patient at a time with adequate time gap between the patients should be considered in order to have adequate time for asepsis between the patients. Schedule screening appointment before taking up another patient for a procedure at the same time if you have both the patients in your clinic. So certain general principles of COVID-19 scenario can be adopted, like social distancing in waiting room, which helps in restriction of contact between your patients, hand hygiene for patient, attendee, healthcare providers and auxiliary staff, use appropriate PPE for patient, attendee and healthcare providers, follow strict aseptic technique and encourage only e-payment mode so that it helps in limiting the spread of infection, and meticulously follow the patient between the appointments and also after the treatment is complete in view of your legal considerations. So what not to do? Walk-ins, strictly say no. Consider to see only patients with immediate need for emergency procedure. You can postpone all your dental procedures which are elective. Strictly say no to aerosol generating procedures. Avoid multiple visits to minimize the potential risk of exposure. Do not cluster with multiple appointments at the same time in order to allow for effective disinfection between the patients. And most importantly, do not accept physical currency in the payment mode, because currency can be a potential source of infection spread because it might harbor the fomites and it also exchanges hands very rapidly. So what are the tips or considerations for good dental practice during this pandemic? So for emergency dental care, you consider sitting dentistry with the operative position at 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock to prevent direct exposure to any accidental splatter of aerosols. Consider rubber dam isolation combined with high vacuum suctioning. Use mouth hoods adapted to high vacuum suction. avoid use of aerotors or scalers because they generate a lot of aerosols. Use slow speed handpiece without irrigation instead of aerotors for emergency cavity preparations or root canal access openings. Use of certain measures, certain temporary measures like orthodontic bands for treating cracked tooth syndrome will be effective, because we cannot go ahead with the extraction of tooth at that particular, in this particular point in time, because it falls under high risk procedure. So it will be wise to avoid any high risk procedure and convert them into a moderate risk procedure, as I told you earlier. And use of loops or face shield to maintain at least 45 centimeters of safe distance. Avoid double jaw trolley suction because this can harbor a lot of virus and can act as the source of infection in your clinic. For elective dental practice in this pandemic scenario, as per the provisional guidelines, prefer to postpone all elective dental procedures until further improvement in guidelines as per the recommendations. Strictly adhere to CDC or WHO recommendations for effective and strict infection prevention and control for safe dental practice. Patient instruction and follow-up should be maintained for up to at least 3 to 6 weeks for legal considerations. Consider regular audio or video call inquiry to be done regarding general health status of the patient, and instruct your patients to rather insist to use 3-layered cotton cloth mask or 3-layered surgical face mask with appropriate reuse and discard protocols till the end of the follow-up period. Now this brings to the end of part 1, and we have learned how to adapt to the currently evolving pandemic COVID-19. Friends, stay home, stay safe, and let us all meet in the part 2 to learn about how to go about modifications in our dental practice, dental setups in order to be competent enough for dealing with the dental emergencies in our dental offices during this continuously evolving pandemic. Thank you all.